When you go through like really big things in your life, right, that teach you like...
No, I've not really been through anything big in my life. We all worry so much. I don't worry anymore because you've been through the worst.
Like I was going to nightclubs at 12. How bad is that? You can't expect a child-free world. You can't expect to get on the train and the kid's not going to be sat next to you crying, or a plane.
My problem is radio talks to everyone.
I think because you've got big features, they think you're a big baby. Don't join OnlyFans yet. We've got... I'm not saying this to like flex, but when I just... No. I was like, I didn't wee myself. I was like, high five.
Well done.
No, people forget that like your kids support you as much as you support them. You know what I mean?
So, Vicky, thank you for joining me on today's podcast. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Vicky, a mum of 3. I used to be a TV director, and then I kind of switched over to being a digital creator.
What was you directing on TV? Tell me.
Oh, I did all sorts of stuff. I did a lot of social documentaries, did music videos. I mean, that field is not great for women, and definitely not for mums, because you don't have the flexible working hours. So I then kind of pivoted into digital world, the digital world.
Which made sense for you because you were...
Well, I think there's loads of transferable skills. Like if you're writing and directing, producing, but this was 2010. So I'm like a grandma of blogging and Instagram because I've
got an OG here.
Yeah, there was only like a small group of us that set up blogs back in 2010 and then just kind of pivoted into... the online world, which meant I could see my kids. So I had my first boy was 2010. And then I had another one who's here with me. He's in your little patio over there. And
he's
then
absolutely beautiful as well.
Oh, thank you. He's very shy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but we're having a little day out. So thank you for having us.
Oh, it's
so we can have a jolly in London. So
you are the honest mum, though.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll tell you a story why I decided to call myself
Tell me the story.
So Jamie Oliver's wife had brought out a book called Diary of an Honest Mum. And I thought, why hasn't she got the website? Because it was so popular.
I'm having it.
Yeah, and it was one of my friends one of my friends is a filmmaker and said, you need something catchy and something that's searchable. She was a bit more switched on, because remember when blogs came out, especially in the UK, we weren't making money. We were just writing for fun of it, and I just wanted a space. I had a really tough birth with my first, and I had a traumatic birth, so I just wanted to just get stuff out there and be creative. No, I wasn't ready to talk about what happened, just use my voice, kind of find who I was.
To say something.
Yeah, to say something, to like think, hey, I'm lost here on mat leave, but let me do something creative. So I just thought, why hasn't she got the name for this website? I'm going to take it. And I did tell, when I collaborated with Jamie Oliver quite a few years ago, I told him that. He was fine with it.
He didn't care. No, he let you off.
I think they've got enough money, that show. They're fine. No, he was really good about it.
Oh, I love that.
So, and then since then, we've now got like, obviously Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok. It's become this huge kind of machine, hasn't it? But a lot of us just started off blogging.
Where do you feel like you're the most honest? On Insta?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm still blogging, and I do a big part of my business is my blog, particularly with a lot of US clients, because I've sort of built an American audience as well, which is...
How have you done that?
I don't know. I think like blogs give you the opportunity for a global audience. And then also when I look at like my insights on Instagram, on Facebook, a huge American kind of sector that's... I don't know, like Meta seemed to like me. They actually offered me a job before I was having Florence. So yeah, I think it's nice that I was sort of, I've had lots of meetings with them and stuff.
What are you writing on your blogs? What are you telling people?
I'm just really sharing my life, and on Instagram, I'm sharing I advocate a lot for mothers' rights and also for older mums. Ultimately, I was nearly 41 when I had Florence. So I'm very much about kind of championing older mums as well. But I was 27 when I had my first. So I've kind of been a mum in my 20s, my 30s and my 40s.
Well, funny you say that. Yeah. My mum did the same. My mum did everyone knows I always talk about my mum on here. Aww. So my mum was 19 with her first. And she has a 40-year-old, and then
Wow.
her youngest is 18. So she had,
Love
at
that.
19, she gave birth, and then she was, I want to say she was 41.
Yeah, amazing. And I bet she had like a good experience.
Do you know what? She said that actually being older for her, having babies, was so different. She said even down to like going into school, the respect she would get from the teachers
I love that.
was so different to when she was 19. Because she'd had that experience of like both ends.
I get that. And I think it is about experience. And it's also like, I think when I turned 40, I was like, all my boundaries were a lot stricter. So I was very much like, I'm not going to take any BS. And you really advocate for your kids more fearlessly.
Well, I think even now, what my mum's like to my children's education and what my children are doing is so different. I think you just, over the years, you evolve so much, don't you?
Massively.
And you're like...
And also, like, when you go through, like, really big things in your life, right, that teach you, like...
No, I've not really been through anything big in my life. Nothing big in my life.
Exactly. Like, when you go through such trauma, losing a partner, going through, like, traumatic births, like, I lost my cousin recently, like, all these things, when you're rock bottom and you finally manage to come up for air, you realise, like, how strong you are. And, like, that resilience is quite powerful. And you think... nothing's going to make me feel that low again. So it can't be that bad if I like advocate for myself or my kids or stand up for my children or whatever.
And do you know what? It's quite tough when you've actually experienced something, because then your thoughts on the world and how you see everything after, like my world has changed so much in 3 years.
Yeah.
But obviously now, like even when Tom got diagnosed, it's changed so much that even like decisions that I make now, I think, oh my God, I'd never have done that. Like
Do you
5
feel like
years
braver
ago,
now?
I feel so brave.
And you trust yourself
and
more,
I just
right?
feel like we all worry so much. I don't worry anymore because you've been through the worst. But like you're saying, it changes your experience. So you at 27 to you at 41 is like just
different person.
100%.
Yeah, you
your
evolve.
life experience is just...
Massively. I feel like I've changed the way I see the world. I'm not so bothered about what people think. I think that's kind of the lovely thing about getting a little bit older and even having children in your 30s and 40s. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. I've had quite a lot of therapy and that's really been transformative, I felt. It's kind of made me understand childhood trauma. It's made me understand things that affected me that were maybe unresolved so that I'm not triggered to those things, or that I understand if I'm triggered so I can change my response to things.
Understanding you.
Yeah, 100%. And actually that makes you a better parent, doesn't it? Because I can sort of help my kids because I feel like a more healed version. Obviously it's a journey, right? But you're like able to, because obviously the biggest thing is you want to protect your kids. You don't want them to have a hard time at school, or they're your babies. But I think that I'm teaching them boundaries from now that took me till 40 to learn. Yeah. And that's not my parents' fault because it's a different generation.
And like, things have changed so much. I think massively. For our parents, it must be like, wow, how the world has changed.
Yeah, massively. And the online world. And I remember like, were you just like, we were just playing on the streets, no one to tell us to come home at us, but just come home when it's not dark anymore. It was, we were the first generation.
Come home for your dinner.
Yeah, come home for tea, we call it.
And then you might go back out.
Exactly. Like we had that freedom, which I'm trying to give that to my kids, but we have to be protective, we feel.
Because we're fed so much information.
Yeah, we're oversaturated.
Like we said, you're fed so much information that you actually then have to like cipher through the information. And like, even I think for me, I went to a stage school at 11. I travelled up to London.
Amazing.
Like,
were you scared? Were you like...
No, even the first day I went, Mum, you're not coming with me. That is so embarrassing. Like, I'm going with my friend who I used to go to dance with. I was like...
But girls are so mature, aren't they? Because like... You're not the eldest though, middle.
No, I'm middle. Yeah. I'm second middle.
Don't you feel like girls are quite mature though in that? Like I was going to nightclubs at 12. How bad is that? I looked really old. Like I looked really mature. It was terrible.
But times have changed with that.
They have changed.
Kids don't go out clubbing anymore.
No, they don't. They don't drink. They don't go out clubbing. They still vape, which is a big problem. But they don't really. Yeah, things have really. And actually, teenagers have got a teenager and a tween, and then just come out of being a toddler. Crazy. But my teenage, everything's sort of inside, like online. I mean, he's really sporty, so that gets him out the house, which is good.
What, like that goes and plays sports for
plays
teams?
sports and in the gym. And my middle one loves his football. So they are quite active. They're not addicted to their screens, but like the socialization of kids is very specific to being online.
Do you know what? I saw someone online the other day. I think it was like a comedian, and he was like, now our kids dictate to us what they're doing, where they're going. Like, when we were getting brought up, like, we just had to go everywhere. We just like, you'd be sat outside your mum's hair appointment. You'd be like your son's waiting there now.
Yeah.
On his own. And I'm joking. I'm joking. We're joking. But that, like, kids don't do that anymore.
I know.
People always say to me, but your kids are so good.
My family originally Greek, and Mediterranean families, the kids integrate into their worlds a lot more, and a lot of other European cultures are like that. So my husband's part French, so I think it's quite a British thing where and I'm British, but maybe it's the thing where I'm accommodating for my kids a lot more. But then if I go back to Cyprus or I go to like France or whatever, they're very much, and they're really happy, but they're not saying to the kids, oh, we can only go to this particular restaurant because it's kiddie kind of food. They're taking them to really nice restaurants, and they're saying, learn to behave. And most times they're behaving all right. I mean, kids are kids. The thing is, people are not entitled to a child-free world, right? They're entitled to not have children and make that choice. And there's, I advocate for whatever you want to do in your life. But you can't expect a child-free world. You can't expect to get on the train and the kid's not going to be sat next to you crying, or a plane.
But there's the pressure now. When I get on the train with my kids, we go up to London a lot. We work in London a lot. You just have that
that fear.
I mean, even
you can't
Aurelia was sitting there eating pickled onion monster munch, and I sort of said it out loud because I'm like, if I was the person on the train, they smell and you're chewing them and it's horrible. And I sort of said that out loud to actually be a bit laughing
around.
Yeah, they were like, I said, sorry everyone, they're pickled onion. Then a Christmas she's picked. Like,
sorry. No, but I think people also have to remember they were kids once.
I know, but I feel like people forgot.
Yeah, they forget so easy. And even, like I find the tantrums in the supermarket and everyone's looking at you. I find that my mum's a lot more bothered than I am. Like, I'm like, okay, deep breath. Because this is really formative, normal behaviour. Like, you can't expect toddlers to manage their emotions. They're learning to do that. So I don't know. I think my mum's like, oh gosh, embarrassing. Take her out. And my mum used to be a teacher, and a lecturer. So it's like she knows kids. I think there's this fear that her generation are going to judge. And people do judge. Like, they do look at you badly, but you just have to think it's okay.
But I think whatever you do, for all the mums out there, whatever you do, people are looking, people are judging. If you sat there with the iPad, if you sat there with the pickled onion crisp, if your kid's throwing a tantrum, if your kid's skipping down and chatting. I mean, my problem is Aurelia talks to everyone and wants to know.
And you're like, I don't want to talk to this is what Florence does. She chats to everyone. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not in the mood to adults today. Like, I don't want to be adult saying, I don't want to talk to that person. But you're forced to chit chat because your kid's chatting. And I'm like, oh.
And then we get it as well because Brody just looks so cute. So they're like, oh, they're cute. And I'm like, oh. But Aurelia just, and she won't just stand there and just have like the little conversation. She's telling them the whole life story.
Oh, I love that though. But were you that person that always like, do you like your energy attracts kids and animals and stuff? Because I always have that. I've had some really weird experience. I was once on a little plane going from like, I think it was going from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. I was on my own and went to like visit he was my then boyfriend and now husband when he was over there for the summer to see his family. And I was really scared of this little plane. I'm not a massive fan of flying. It feels unnatural. If I can get a train or a boat, I much prefer the car. But I force myself. And I was really, really frightened. And this little kid turned round and like held my hand before we took off. Like, so he wasn't in his seatbelt. And I've had loads of weird things like that happen to me. I don't know if I'm like some Piper freak.
That is
Do you
me.
ever have that?
I'm the mum animals around the hotel that all the other parents would come up to me going like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, they're all just hanging around your sunbed and that. Like, I'm like, well, one, I've got the mouthpiece here that's probably calling everyone over and being like, come sit with us. as in Aurelia.
Yeah. But did you find that you had that before you were a mum? Because I remember a little kid just coming up to me and hugging me in the street, and I was with my friend, and he was studying medicine. He's a doctor now. And I said to him, can you explain this? It was so weird. Like
energy.
Yeah. And he was like, I think because you've got big features, they think you're a big baby.
I don't think that's why. You've just that aura. Yeah. I've always had it. My mum said since I was actually a little child myself, I've always loved other children. Being a mum, I was always destined to be a mum, and I've run a performing arts school. I've worked with children and taught children.
Were you an actress? Did you become an actress, singer, dancer, everything?
Yeah, so I trained at Italia Conti.
I know Italia Conti, brilliant school, very hard to get into, darling.
Yeah, very hard to get into.
Only the creme de la creme. Only the creme. When I was a director, I worked with loads of actors, and a lot of them went there. Yeah. So was that like a day school, boarding?
So that was like my secondary school. So it was the best time ever, perfect for me as well.
That would have been my dream.
Probably on
my parents wouldn't let me go to drama school. I begged them.
Yeah, you would have been fantastic.
I lost
and
my
also
calling.
It was great because, you know, I wasn't tied down to just do the academic. I knew in my head I'm just going in to do academic in the morning, then I can dance until whatever time and sing and act. So it's perfect for me.
Dream.
Was at Conti, left there at 19. I focused more on acting towards the end. Yeah. Came out, did films, did TV. Amazing. And then I just think it's such a
When did you have your first baby? How old were you?
What was I, 29?
Yeah.
But I did get to the point, but I'd opened my performing arts school at 21.
Wow.
I started teaching at 15. I used to like work at, and then I was...
So leaving at 11 gave you that massive confidence to be doing all these things that take people like to their 30s to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
incredible.
I just went for it. We went for it. Me and my best friend's called Kelsey. The dance school, we were like, yeah, let's just open it. Let's do it.
So if your kids wanted to go down that road?
My kids love it. They love
stage
it.
School, jazz
yes. Aurelia that will be her path. That is her calling. I think
Florence will want to, because she just loves it. And since she was a baby, you know, she's been on my channels. And she, you know, it's weird. And because mostly mums watch me. I remember once when we lived in Windsor, this woman, I didn't know her, she stopped in the street. She went, you were just on my timeline, like pointed to Florence as a toddler. It was like, because we get like millions and millions of views on stuff. It was crazy. There's a video, I think, on Instagram with like 66 million views of Florence as a little baby.
Doing what?
No, it's just, well, I like to share like stuff. So the stuff that I like to watch, I share. So I'm just sharing like facts, research. So this one was about the fact that you lived in your mum's, so when you were a baby girl and you were in your mum's womb, at 5 months, you get all the little ovums, the little eggs that are going to develop into your...
Yeah. I think eggs. I saw this on yours.
Yeah. And basically, so you're all connected with your grandma, and like all these like Hollywood actors were like liking it.
Didn't Kris Jenner talk about it on, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know if it was
I don't know whether it was you.
66 million people saw it, so it might, oh my gosh.
They were talking about, or Khloe Kardashian was like, someone was like, how crazy that you were developed, your eggs were in. So like,
hold on, what series was this?
This is like recent. This is since like
I don't know. She didn't like it, but a lot of people had liked it.
Send it to him. Say, I agree with what you're saying, and sorry, I was before
you. Next time. Yeah, no, I've had some crazy stuff that's gone crazy viral on there but I've literally always taken this stance that create content that you like to consume yourself and you want to watch. So there's like stuff of my dad doing Greek dancing that's like viral on there and stuff. And that, I never thought that would go viral. I was just
this is
catching my dad holding my baby doing like Greek dancing, and I thought people are going to think, what the heck is this guy doing with like a baby? But it's, people
my younger brothers
it.
are doing TikTok. The listeners will know all about it.
Do you feel like you missed the boat with that? I missed the boat with TikTok.
The TikTok boat.
I need to, yeah.
They're building their TikToks. They're working really hard. They're posting every day. My brother posted a picture of this guy, and it says, when your mum comes back and you've used 6 eggs, because they are eating the steak eggs, they're very fitness. So then he's got a picture of my mum coming in, looking at the pan with 6 eggs in it, like shocked. He's had like 6 million views on it.
I need to see that. Please tell me that.
But
don't you think people love seeing like parents and like that mix of the generations.
He's doing press-ups and pull-ups every day, and I'm like, why is that not blown up? But
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mum has.
But your mum,
I'm like, mum's blown your TikTok up.
That's relatable. I think people, it was the same when I was a screenwriter and a director. You want to get emotion on screen, and loads of people say to me like, what's the stuff that does really well? And, you know, and yeah, that you have to teach the algorithm, which, I mean, what I love recently is...
But how can you teach the algorithm?
No, all the algorithms, whether it's search engines for blogs, whether it's Meta. I mean, what's nice about Facebook, I don't know if everyone knows this, but you can get paid quite well now when you upload natively to Facebook. So you don't just share automatically, you take your videos and you put them onto Facebook. And you know...
We'll talk about this after.
Yeah. I'll give you all the know-how. Don't join OnlyFans yet. We've got...
Damn!
We've got more opportunities. But you know, when you...
I thought I was going to have to sell my farts.
You don't give a shit anymore about what people think. So just the world shut over oyster. Go for it. Georgia's not coming back.
Sorry, Georgia. So yeah, it is. I just think the world of socials is just a crazy place, isn't it? What's going to blow up? You never know.
But there is a thing, and like I said, I've had meetings with Meta. Instagram contacted me a while ago, maybe a couple of years ago, going, we really like the quality of your content. Can we have some meetings? And I actually shared absolutely everything I was told. So no one told me not to share it, because part of my thing is that I always do want to help people, and I think that's because I used to be a teacher, so it actually gives me like a high to help people. Is that selfish? It makes me happy.
I'm a sharer and an oversharer, but other people aren't like that, and it upsets you.
But you don't need to be scared. Like, there's enough room for all of us. I think it's like, listen, when you work in the TV industry, you know this, right? And we've both come from a traditional like TV background. It's like, you've got to get on with people to get work. You work with crews, you work with cast, you have to, like, a cast of actors, whatever. You really have to be a team player. And not everybody is. And there's a scarcity mindset, right? Where people are like, what if this gets taken away from me? I better not share. And I've just, in life, whether it's my friends, you can ask my best mate, whatever it is, I've always been a giver. And it's like part of my culture. Greek people are feeders. And, you know, it's just kind of how we roll. Every year. Yeah, exactly. So you know how warm Greek Cypriots, my family are Greek Cypriot. And it's like, honestly, people just come to see my parents without me even being there because they want to eat and they want to like see my mum and dad. So I think ultimately that is just who I am. And I was one of the very first bloggers who shared exactly how to monetize your blog and how to build a business, because I don't know, I was like, okay, let's share with everyone. Let everybody have this opportunity.
I do believe in, and this is what I've always taught as a teacher, like you're saying, the teachings. Yeah. When we first started the Performing Arts School, that is what I was teaching people. What you give out in life is what you get back. And I am a massive believer in energy, karma, and you being kind and doing that.
Well, I've moved towards like Buddhist philosophies as I've gotten older, and I just love all of that and the principles behind it and how and it's about trying to put out really good energy, and it's not just so it can come back to me, it's just so much easier and nicer to just not have that.
I don't think your intention, I think if your intentions are I'm gonna get loads of stuff back.
You know those TikToks that like send this to your friends and you're gonna get £1 million next week?
No,
it's not that. But I do think, and this is actually true, that especially with like websites, blogs, whatever, if you share what you know, you do become an authority on it. And then people, whether that's drama teacher or music, or we've seen people that blow up on TikTok and they're sharing their passion or they're sharing their advice. And in that, they become an expert. So more people follow them and they get more commissions. So it's whether you're looking at it spiritually, factually, scientifically, it works. Just sharing what you know or sharing your passions, that's addictive. I follow so many people, from artists to, you know, also entrepreneurs, fashion designers, and the thing that ties everybody through why I want to watch them is that like their passion is so addictive, like, and it's so inspiring that they really love something. And I think that's the same with any kind of storytelling. We want emotion, we want to feel something, we want to relate to something, we want to feel informed or educated, but in a way that like touches us. Otherwise, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's
I don't want
what
it.
you base your content on too.
Well, yeah. And I mean, obviously, I'm not saying my content's perfect. You know,
She is,
sometimes it's
that's
just
what
a
I'm trying to
really
say.
quick little thing or whatever. As a director, I was a bit of a perfectionist, and I was really lucky that I got to shoot on 35mm film. My short films went all over the world. We won awards. I won an award from Channel 4. And in a way, I'm not saying this to like flex, but when I I'm not. But when I decided, right, that this industry didn't work for me, I had people say to me, "You have worked so hard." I was working like 60, 100-hour weeks.
But that's why it didn't work for you. You couldn't be a
it
mum
wasn't
and do
sustainable. And they were like, "You've worked so hard. You've won these awards. Your short films have, gone all over the world." I worked for a company called Redbus that sold to Lionsgate, so I'd had all this experience in the film industry, and suddenly it was like, this doesn't work because I want to see my kid. My baby needs me. This was Oliver, and I need him. And I remember shooting some commercials in Manchester, and I was away from him for like 2 weeks, and it killed me.
Yeah.
I was like, I am heartbroken. So when the advent of digital came along, I was like, this is like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
But did it blow your mind a little bit? When it
None of us believed it. If you talk to any OG bloggers, because remember, we had the Americans who were huge, right? And they were earning a lot of money, women in America. And what was really interesting, it was a lot of Mormon women, because Mormons write diaries. So it was a natural thing to then evolve into blogs.
Do you watch the Mormon?
No,
Disney?
but I've watched one episode, which is really good. But I feel like I don't know them enough. I need to really get in there. But they're really interesting, right? And what they created. But ultimately, I was like, so when I started, I didn't think it could be a business. I actually went back to directing, and that's when I was like pretty heartbroken. So I was just writing stuff about, I don't know, all different things that were going on, experiences basically of having a baby. Remember, not many people were doing that. And then it evolved. So about 2 years in, I was like, wait a minute, I can actually earn what I'm earning as a director through blogging, and later, like, it was Facebook, and later it was Instagram, but for years it was kind of primarily the blog. And it's come a bit full circle, I have to say now, because America's still obsessed with blogs. We're just not as like the UK. So then I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually be with my child. Then I had a second baby. And I remember Alexander was so chilled that he used to just lie on my chest while I was writing, like a baby thing.
Yeah.
And he was a really easy baby. My first and my third, not easy. I think they come out how they're going to be. And we did the exact same thing with like my first and my second. And yet my second was such a good sleeper. He was really chilled. And actually, had I been growing my business in the way that I was with Alexander, with my third, I wouldn't have been able to achieve what I did, because she needs full on attention. Like, I remember Alexander used to like play with all those cars on the floor, and he'd just be really happy on his, like, I was there with him and we were inseparable. But
some kids are. Bodhi will just sit
Florence
there.
Isn't.
He will have his Lego out. He'll get his little, like this morning he's got his Lego pieces. He plays with them all. It's so adorable.
Yeah.
Aurelia's like, can we make pancakes? Can we do this? Can we do that?
That's
and I'm
what
like,
Florence
by
is
the
like.
time we've done that, over there's a mess. And she's just a
I'm just
whirlwind.
like, today I've left like my mum with Florence, and know the house is going to be upside down, cushions everywhere, making dents on the floor, just like I just know
that's one of our rules at the moment. She really wants a VTech phone.
Oh, cool. They're good. They are good.
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
She done really well in her dance show. I don't know how I feel about it, because I'm a bit like
How old is she?
anti-iPad and whatever else. She's 5.
5. Yeah, but I would say that the pressure for a real phone comes about 8 years old.
Yeah.
And actually...
Well, she'll be 6 at the end of this month.
Yeah, so that's quite a good intro to get her. And you can manage it, right? So it's like you can control what she watches or what she does with
and
it.
I don't feel like it's going to be the YouTube, like...
No, that's the dopamine hit, where it's kind of the kids get really obsessive. Like, we've had to ban YouTube with Florence because...
I think it, and this is what I've said before, because I've said on this pod, my kids don't have the iPads, right? Yeah. Bodhi could sit there for 6 hours and have the iPad and not have a problem or anything. Yeah. When he comes off, it will be fine. Aurelia cannot, so I can't do one rule without the other.
That's true.
And that is, she is a monster, and the only connection is that iPad.
Yeah, because it overstimulates them. And then when you hear about stuff where people are creating, like producers are creating content that is meant to like overstimulate your kids. So I think it's
quite scary. That
really
is scary. And also some of the stuff you do watch on there is a little bit weird as well.
Really weird. So I know there's YouTube Kids, but we've just decided no YouTube. She watches a few things on Netflix that are like Gabby's doll's house and stuff, and she really likes that. But really, we moderate that. There's not a lot of screen time. We're lucky we moved to Yorkshire, and we've got loads of countryside and things like that. So we just try and get out
outdoors,
and it helps us as well. Like I'm that person that's hugging trees in the forest near my
house. I love it.
And and Florence knows all about that stuff.
She wants to get my phone and text people. So I think in her head she can have this VTech phone. And she'll be able to text her friend. That's she's like 6 going on 16.
Do you know what I did
when
when Alexander was little and he wanted to text his friends? We got the mum's phone number, and then I let him send like 1 or 2 texts from my phone, like together, and then it just wore off. That sort of it's almost like first thing. It's exciting. You're sending a message. It's like when we sent a message on a pager for the first time. Like I was like 15.
Vicky, that's the thing, isn't it? It's so hard because with the kids, it becomes like. Very clever. Like she's got my phone. She's actually found the mum of her friend and has sent a picture of herself like this and then put I love you.
Oh, bless
but I was like,
her.
it's so hard to win because like really
that's amazing that she could do
very
that.
Intelligent but yet really naughty.
The thing is, though,
that is
tech
a radio.
is going nowhere. So I think our job is to guide our kids.
You can't just pick up my phone. What if she starts like, who else is she going to message on there?
Well, my kids also take really compromising pictures. I'm not meaning to. Not all my kids, but the little one. Yeah, I was looking at my phone going, she took a picture of my feet.
Yeah. I've got ones where I'm actually like in my knickers, bent over in my knickers. And I'm like,
you ready for OnlyFans?
I've got it.
And I could do Feet Finder. You're going to get some weird requests for sponsorship deals after the show goes out. But no, I honestly don't think it's a bad thing. I think with tech, it's about guiding them, protecting them, there's loads of apps that can protect our kids. And
this has a parent.
Yeah, a parent control. And I think for me, why I like my kids having phones is that, like yesterday, my son's bus broke down from school and I was able to see exactly where he was through like the phone finder. Like there's things that technology do really help us. So I think it's about not being scared of that world.
But then you go back to when you was a kid, your mum wouldn't know, would she?
No, that's true.
You just said at the beginning you was out doing whatever. She was in the club at 12.
I know my parents have found out also. My parents' house, they still live there. They overlook all these fields, right? And a reservoir. And I used to have these parties where 200 people would come and the police would come. And it was all barbed wire and we'd jump over and we'd have all like these terrible.
Okay,
and
so
my parents,
but now going back to you being a parent.
But we had such a great time.
How would you be okay about that? How would you feel? Are you strict now?
Yeah, I don't. Do you know what? I'd like to think I'm a fun mum, but my kids would say I'm not. Like, I'm like,
get your son in
I'll say to my kids, am I cool? They're like, if you were cool, you wouldn't ask that. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh. So I think in life, it's about just trying to be there for them as much as you can, like, so they trust you. Because that's what I feel like. I feel like my mum is my best friend, and I feel like my kids are my friends. I don't like it when people say you can't be friends with your kids.
My mum's my best friend.
Yeah, and also, like, my kids are my best friends. I think I need some more friends. But, like, I honestly, like, they're my favourite people. Sometimes they're not, and they're like, you know, and they're all shouting.
And that's okay.
And that's fine. Okay. And I think also it's about what our parents' generation weren't very good at was if they messed up, they didn't say sorry because sorry was a sign of weakness. Whereas we're like much more healed versions because every generation
you are improves. So right about that.
So if I mess up or I lose my temper, I'm like, look, I'm really sorry. I've got PMT. You know, all my kids, like my boys know everything about hormones. Like I want kids to be aware. I don't want them to constantly be, you know, unsure of where they stand and I'm not very good at being, I'm not a massive disciplinarian, but I want some respect, but mutual respect.
With boys, you have to be. Like, even my brothers, they've been, obviously, I was, like I said before, 15 and 17 when my brothers were born. I was like heightened, you know, hormones and whatever else and had the kids. And now when they go, they like... I text something to my brother the other day and he was like, that was really rude. I was like, I'm actually really sorry. I said, I didn't actually mean to be rude. I said, I wrote that wrong. It's not the right way I put it. I said, but I am juggling a 4
Lots
and
of
a 5-year-old.
things.
So can you just give me a bit of a break? But I thought, oh my God,
It's a bit oversensitive maybe, but maybe...
No, I don't think he wanted to do what I asked him to do. That was the catalyst of that one. He was like, don't talk to me like that. I'm not doing that for you now.
So were you a bit like a second mum to your brothers?
Massive second mum.
But then that gave you such a great training to be a mum.
Yeah, and also for them, we talk about everything. Can I say to them, you know, maybe when you go on a date, you should be a bit more like this. I'll give them a bit of...
I love that.
A bit of advice, because I think...
Yeah, I think that's what we all crave, like growing up.
And because they are seeing so much online now, I don't think it's real. It's not real, the stuff you're seeing. Even the girls, you ain't getting one of them girls. They're not real. They're AI.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I think that's really important. And especially, like, even with boys, they've got lots of body image concerns. Girls, I want to teach all my kids to exercise boundaries, to have a really good, strong sense of self-worth. All the things that like took me so long, and I'm still trying to get there with a lot of things, and just really prioritize real friends and just like spot red flags as well. So I'm doing that in an age appropriate way.
But they have to learn the red flags themselves.
I know it's like, you know, when like the kids have fallouts at school, and it's like your heart, you know, you're just like, you want to protect them. I just try and be
really like no opinion or anything.
Yeah, that's really good.
I feel like my
no, I don't have an opinion over the other kids, but I'm just trying to make them feel like...
Well, I just say we're all just kind. You have to be kind to people.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I don't like these videos that show like the mums going, I'm off to scream at these kids because they've had a go at my kid. No way. Like, that's terrible.
No, and also I just always think through all the years of like having kids, even when you go to the playgroup and that mum's like, oh, your kid just whacked my kid and whatever. And you're like,
your kid bit my kid. It's like, that's so common.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, I get it, right? That you must be really upset, but your kid's probably going to do that in 3 months' time. So don't judge.
But don't you think second time parenting, you're so much more relaxed? Like
but then you meet the first time mums.
You meet the first time mums, and you're like, and there's definitely a first time syndrome in parents where it's like, oh, I'm not letting them do this, or they've done overreacting to
They might as well be in bubble wrap and the soft play.
Yeah, and it's like, I think you can only get through that by experiencing what it's like to juggle 2 kids as well. So I try and have some grace for that, because I was probably like, I know I was really
But when
nervous.
you're going with Florence, she's tough. She's going to be the soft play. She's got 2 older brothers.
We went to like a trampolining place, top jump. It was amazing. They said to us, come along. And honestly, her and her niece launching themselves off top of these big inflatable mountains. I mean, it was all safe. Yeah. And it was like fearless. I was screaming down these slides. I absolutely loved it. I'm such a scaredy cat. But I was like, I didn't wee myself. I was like, high five.
Well done.
No terror pad needed that day, just that day somehow. And it was just like amazing. I loved it. I was like, but I think having a baby a bit later as well, she's teaching me to be a bit more fearless. Yeah. Honestly, she's like, she came up to me the other day, she said, oh, don't worry about this. And I thought, oh, gosh, you're like parenting me. I mean, I don't want that, but she's really...
She's very
on it. Yeah.
aware.
Yeah, and everybody said when she was a baby, oh, she's been here before. Yeah. She's an old soul. So...
but it sounds like she has.
Yeah, she really... Like, a lot of elderly women would stop us everywhere we went and be like, oh my gosh. And she's got quite an old-fashioned face. Yeah. So I don't know, like, you know, those like porcelain doll type faces, especially when she was a baby. So people would be like, oh, she's got this wisdom.
The conversations that me and Aurelia have together, and Bodhi, I'm like, both of them, I think I've been sent 2 old souls. Because what they know and what they pick up on and what they read. But maybe I was sent them because what we went through as a family together. Yeah. That it was like, we're only going to get through this because they've been here multiple times. They've lived it. So let's...
And I think like people forget that like your kids support you as much as you support them. You know what I mean? In the sense that they guide you, they teach you, I
would not be where I am now if I didn't have my kids. There's no way I would have
got you up in the morning, right? 100%. When you would have just, if you hadn't have had kids, you wouldn't have, I
could have saved my pajamas and just...
But they forced you to keep living.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, I just think that's so wonderful.
That's why our kids are here, guys.
Oh, yeah. I love it. We've become more woo-woo, but we love it. Is he like enough now?
We've spoken for a million
Stop talking.
years.
Oh, I've loved it though. I've loved like hearing more about all of your journey.
You're just fantastic as well. We're going to have a chat now about Facebook and how I can monetize Facebook.
Yeah, I'll tell you all the little meta tricks.
Until next time, I'm Kelsey Parker, and this has been Mum's the Word. And we'll be back with another episode, same time, same place, next week.